Okay, guys, today we're going to be doing these fall watercolors of a tree line, okay? And it's going to be really just kind of for the background for a bigger project that we're going to do. And we're going to do a truck up here, and we might even do some falling leaves around it and stuff, all right? So this is a small one I made to kind of figure out how I wanted you guys to do this before we did it on a bigger paper. So you're gonna have a bigger paper, and I'm gonna leave this right over here where I can kind of see it. You might not be able to see it in the video actually. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a brown crayon. We're gonna draw on brown today because trees are brown. And then also when you outline your trees, they don't show up as much like a really thick dark line like we do when we outline in black Sharpie. So these are gonna be really just kind of light and loose like a watercolor. Watercolor can be loose, okay? So your horizon line, or the line where the sky and the ground meet, is going to be kind of right in here, but we don't want to draw our horizon line yet because we want to draw our big kind of front trees. I'm going to draw one tree that's really close and one tree that's in the middle, and then these trees will go to the back, okay? So right here, I'm going to start with kind of a big tree. Now, it's just a line to start with. And then the trunk is going to be kind of big like this. You make a big thick trunk with your crayon and you color it in. Okay. And then we're going to add some branches up here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a tree. But we want to do a nice big tree up close here, okay? Like this one's up close. So then I'm just coming in and doing some little branches. All right? So you're gonna do your tree, and then you're gonna lightly, I'm not pressing really hard, draw some leaves around it, and then you're gonna draw a little line like this at the bottom, okay? So start with your big trunk, and then add some branches, and you can go back and rewatch that, or you can pause it as you go, and then draw the cloud around it, and then draw a little line right here. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna draw a slightly smaller, not a teeny tiny tree, but I'm gonna come back just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw my line right here. So this one's way down here, so I'm gonna draw it back here. And I'm gonna take my brown, and I'm gonna draw a tree trunk, kind of like I already did, and color it in. And then I'm gonna give it some branches. Everybody's is gonna look a little different. And then just like before, I'm gonna come through and very lightly draw this, okay? Now, the reason we drew our two trees first is because now I have to draw my horizon line. And depending on where you put that, it might go through the tree, okay? So we didn't want that line going through the tree. It would have been okay if it went straight through. So if you bring it down below, that's okay. It'd be okay if it goes straight through the trunks, but we don't want to go through the tree, okay? So now trees back here are gonna be small or big? Small, that's right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw these trees with a few little branches. And they're just gonna come right down to this line. Okay, you can do like a tall, skinny tree, like this. Okay, you can leave a space between a couple trees. But we're taking our brown, we're drawing our trees. Okay, once you're done with your trees, the next thing to do is to just paint it today. We're just gonna watercolor it, okay? I'm gonna do about this section of mine, and then I'll finish out, but I just want you guys to see just a little bit. I'm gonna use my big paintbrush to start with, and I'm gonna do a blue sky. Now you guys are gonna have the actual watercolors, like the little pans of these. These are my big watercolors that I use a lot of times because I have them at school when I'm trying to do these videos, okay? So this is watercolor paper, so it'll look really good. But you're just going to do a light blue kind of watercolor wash. And then because we drew the trees already, we're gonna try to stay out of the trees and go around them, okay? And even though I'm going back to blue, we get some more water on my brush. You always need water on your brush. They're called watercolors. You can paint right over these trunks down here, but you don't want to paint up into your trees if you can avoid it. But as you can see, I did get out of the lines a little bit, and that's okay. Okay, then once you're done with that, let's come down here and do the grass, and then we'll go back to this. We want to do the grass next just because you want to give the sky a little bit of time to dry, just a little bit, so that when you do your trees, they don't bleed out into the sky, because if the sky is really wet, they'll bleed out, okay? So I'm still going to use my big paintbrush, and we're going to do some green grass. We're just keeping this part really simple because next week we're going to add our truck to it. So it'll look really good. Normally I'm okay with you guys doing what you want with your sky, but the main reason we don't want to do a sunset sky is because we're doing fall leaves, okay? And the sunset colors and the fall colors are very similar. Okay. Once you're done with your grass, so paint your grass, all right? Everybody paint your grass. Okay, so now that I'm done with my grass, I'm gonna show you how to do your trees. So your trees, I'm gonna switch to my smaller paintbrush, and I'm just gonna show you a couple of techniques. One technique is you can just paint each tree a different solid color. Like if I wanted this tree to be yellow, I could do that yellow. Okay, we don't want every tree to be the same color, so you'd want to do like one yellow, one orange, one red. Maybe there's a green tree still because it hasn't changed yet, okay? But what I like to do is I like to paint it a solid color. And then while it's still wet, I like to pick another color, like maybe orange, and do these little dabs in there. And as it dries, it's gonna look like the texture of a fall tree. It's gonna blend and look really cool, okay? And then maybe this tree, I might do orange. I might come through with some red. And then maybe this tree will just be red. Or maybe you could do red and brown, or some green, because not all trees lose their leaves at the same time. Okay, so this is how we're gonna finish this out. You're gonna finish your trees and you're gonna finish your leaves, and the next week we're gonna do a nice sketch of a truck for up front, and we're gonna color it, and then we're going to cut it out and glue it right up here, okay? So you guys finish yours while I finish mine, and then next week we'll work on our trucks.